Good morning, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Asian Vision Dialogue. Today, the theme of our topic is about the emerging multipolar world order, Russia, China, and the West. And we have the first part of our episode, which is about the evolution of the multipolar world order. And our main guest speaker today is Mr. Pasty. He's a research fellow from Asian Vision Institute. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Pasty to our program. Greetings, Mr. Pasty.
Good morning, Sreynou. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's a great pleasure to have you to be in our program today. Yeah. So first of all, as everyone may know that the geopolitical device has been depends and also has been growing, and some of the people said that we are in the Cold War, new Cold War. Yeah, so due to this reason, we have the new topic that we're gonna talk a bit details about the current new world order. So first of all, before we jump into the details of the topic, just want to ask for your kinds of insight on the current security challenges in the world. Could you briefly talk about it?
Thank you. This is a huge question regarding the global securities. Let me jump a little bit and briefly into the what are the dominating global system. Actually, let's start from the after World War I. The world is in the multipolarity world because there are many superpowers during that period. So the German empires, the Japan empires, the US, the British, something like that, because there are many superpowers after the World War I. And then the coming into the 1945, after as the whole world know that after the US bombing the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then to end the World War II, and then the world shifted into a bipolar world, because there is only two superpowers on the planet during that time, the US and the Soviet Union. And that is called bipolar world. Yeah, it's from the multipolar world. And then after the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s, December 1991, as I remember, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the world is shifting into the American-led unipolarity world. Yeah, the world is under the great dominance of the United States of America. And then the other emerging power like China and Russia started developing its power militarily and economically from time to time. And then from the 2007, 2010, something like that, China started to, growing more and more powerful, both economically and militarily. And it grows until the point that could replace the Japan as the world largest, second largest economies in the globe. And then again the systems again shifting from a American-led unipolarity to a multipolarity again. So you see, it's like a cycling world dominating system. It's go back and forth. And as you see today, that there are three great superpowers on the planet. Everybody will know that the US, and China and Russia. And today, everywhere, people in the globe will talk about the hottest sports in the globe is about Russia and Ukraine war. And this is growing tensions very heavier and more dangerously and more catastrophes, leading the globe into another mountainous crisis. As you already know, we are in the great inflation, yeah. And also it leads to the arm racings and heavier weaponizations on the battlefields of Ukraine. And it also, I hope that this will not lead into another third nuclearization war or something like that. I don't hope it will move into that worst scenario. And the second point regarding the U.S.-China tension over the Taiwan Strait, as you already know that China military drill operations over the South China Sea and the East China Sea, also growing tension regarding Japan and South Korea, yeah. And also the other new escalation over the Indo-Pacific continent has appeared as well for now. A numbers of alliances being formed gradually, as you know, AUKUS, Quad Plus, and a lot of other security architectures mechanism that has been initiated and established by the Western power-led mechanism in order to against the what people call authoritarian systems. So the world today is in two different conflicts of political ideology regarding the liberal democracy and the U.S. and the West, and also the authoritarian state where people would refer to China and Russia. And also not only the military mechanism, even the economics measure also had been initiated to deter China from growing economically. As you know, the IPF, you have Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, yeah, and also APEC, yeah, Cambodia is not there, but the RCEP, Cambodia is there. And RCEP people would define it as China-led economic framework for the Asia Pacific. Again, the APEC. And yeah, this is a kind of a growing scenario that the two conflicting scenario that they are making in order to deter China. And also the BRIC, yeah, the BRIC is another security architectures that in the authoritarian state gathering together in order to confront with the liberal democracy, Western powers, and the American-led mechanism. And also this BRIC also form the BRIC Plus possibility, and this BRIC also plan to establish its own regional currency that it's gonna be confrontation to the dollarization. Yeah, so dollarization and de-dollarization is very, very crucial to the United States of America, because no other countries on earth gonna print the money and spend around the world, and with the very powerful and global acceptance of the currency. So also beside the Russia-Ukraine war and the BRIC plus, And also going into a little bit into the Middle East, Israel and Palestine also a growing, intensifying military. The Turkey last week actually has a, I would call it a military operation recently against the Kurdistan in the northern Iraq. Kurdish region that is fueling the fires in the Middle East. And more importantly, this is about the NATO expansion. That is what Russia is pointing out on the NATO. Some people or some call it a Asian NATO. Recently, the NATO expansions that drawing Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand, or people call the Four Eyes, the eye for anti-China summit on the sideline of NATO meeting. That they call it also the NATO Asia Pacific Partner, or AP4. And lately, interestingly, Mr. Stoltenberg, who is a NATO Secretary General, asked the South Korea to increase the military support to Ukraine. So you can imagine how the situation growing and how the situation look now. That is spreading, growing, and gatherings, alliance and member into the war. As in the support financially and militarily well equipped. And one other crucial point is about military budget increase. This is very, very crucial, because not only in Europe, see in Europe, recently a number of countries in the region have increased their budget. In particular, Poland that boosts its defense budget over the war in Ukraine from 2.5% of its GDP into a 4% of its GDP. So this is the highest percentage of the among all the other NATO members. Obligatory, only 2% of its GDP of the NATO member to contribute to the NATO. But how Poland doing? It multiply. So, and in the Asia Pacific, also not only Europe, the military budget increase, also India increase, Japan increase, South Korea increase, Singapore, Australia, and while they are facing more intensifying with China, and they pressing the security threat to their desire, and also they want to keep trade route open, and to create to escalate tension between the two countries. And actually, I would like to jump into another very important point, viewpoint also, that would cover all the whole topics of our discussion today. I would like to introduce a five assumption regarding how the world works today. So based on the great power politics theory for the 21st century, there are 5 different consumptions that the world works today. So number 1 is anarchy. Anarchy, that means state on the globe, there is no high authority that sit above them. So state independently have a capability militarily and economically that they can defend themselves. They can apply a not only defense but offensive military capability to protect themselves. from other states. And the intention of the other state, because no one could know the intention of other state. For example, during the World War II, no one don't know the intention of German, the Hitler, how ambitiously he gonna commit in the war. So the intention is one of the assumption, and the survival of state need the survival. So in the particular situations, for example, how Singapore ramification over the Russia-Ukraine war, because it will use its strategic survivals and also the strategic resilience in order to protect her own national interest. So, yeah. Also, the last one regarding the rational actor. So, the strategic calculator, this is very important for state before they go into war. They have to be very caution on the strategic calculation, or otherwise. Yeah, some people say that it is a miscalculation for Russia to invade Ukraine, or people also raise that it is a kind of miscalculation also that Vladimir Zelensky to prolong the war with Russia. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. So for the first part of our episode, which is about the emerging multipolar world order, Russia, China, and the West, is coming to an end. Please looking forward to our second part of the episode. See you next time.